Caroline. Welcome to my channel, my little corner of the internet, where I talk all about cross stitch, sewing, knitting, and all the other crafty things I get up to. And today will be mostly cross stitch and a tiny bit of knitting. But I have been very busy sewing too, but it is connected with cross stitch. Two things that I cannot believe right now. Number one, I'm back after a little more than 3 weeks. Well, who would have thought? And the other thing, I had so many FFOs in the last week or two. I mean, many for me at least. I finally fully finished quite a few things that have been lying around and that I want to show you today. So, this is a very special episode for me. I also have been stitching a lot, got a lot done, worked on a lot of projects, so this could take a while today. And let's stop babbling and get into my fully finishes because, as you may be able to tell, I'm excited. The first one that basically started that whole fully finishing extravaganza I did, mainly last weekend, was my Austrian Heart by Bleu de Chine that I had finished a month ago, so not too long ago. And I originally planned to make a square pillow, but my husband asked if I could make a heart-shaped pillow out of it, so I did. And this is what it looks like. It's gorgeous. I mean, the hard finish is not totally perfect, but for the first time, I'm super happy. This is a chart that is by Bleu de Chine. It is called Austrian One and it was in an old Just Cross Stitch magazine. And I stitched this with DMC 115 on 32 count vintage marmor by Zweigart, 2/2. It's all the variegated DMC. And yeah, in the back, so I looked through my quilting cotton and I did not have any nice red fabrics to fully finish this. So I rummaged in my like apparel fabrics or other fabrics for decorations and stuff. And I found this kind of linen, but it's not linen, it's just like textured. And I think it's perfect. This was fraying so bad when I cut it, so I serged it before I sewed the little heart up. And yeah, I did the slot here to stuff it. In there is that polyfill, I think it's called, and a little of the plastic beady filling material. I have no idea what you call those. So then I had it done without the ribbon, but I felt like something was missing and also the edge was not perfect. I mean, it's still not perfect, but yeah. And then Sally, my friend, Flossie Sews and Grows, mentioned she would put a hanger on it. Well, of course, while sewing, I forgot to put a hanger, and you cannot really stand this somewhere. So I purchased this velvet ribbon and glued it on with glue gun and also used it as a hanger. I might cut this down, have it not that long because it's very long now. It's just how long the ribbon was. But yeah, it's now it's a little bit jazzed up, but not too frilly, not kitschy because the shape of it is kitschy enough, I would say. So yeah, that is fully finished number one. Let's continue with the things that I have in the background there. The next one is one that has been done since January 2024. This went into my drawer of full of finishes and I somehow never got it out to fully finish it. And when I did, I looked through my stuff and saw that it would be perfect in a hoop. And this is what it looks like. Oh, I love this. It turned out so, so cute. This is Christmas Window by Barbara Anna. I had a pattern out of the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. And I stitched this 2/2 on Ocean Air fabric by Fox and Rabbit, 36 count, so it's quite bulky and thick with the called for DMC. And yeah, I wanted to put this into a hoop, but I didn't like how the bare hoop looked with it. So I Googled and I found a tutorial how to cover a hoop with fabric. It's from Little Lion on YouTube. And yeah, it's all the raw edges are inside of the hoop, and yeah, and then just laced it in the back because this will hang in the Christmas time on the wall. And up here, up here, I cut the fabric a little too short so you could see the wood. So I glued on a snowflake and a little star. And I put on that ribbon that I had to hang it. I'm so happy and excited about that finish. I cannot even tell you. I love how this turned out. I love how the fabric is coordinating with the piece. Super happy. And the next thing that is back there is a more recent finish. And oops, this is a stitch that I did for Stitch in London in March. It is designed by Modern Folk Embroidery and it was supposed to be made into a needlebook, but I didn't want to. And I have one needlebook, I don't really need another. So I thought I would make a bag out of it and I had the perfect fabric. This fabric with dark green and sunflowers was gifted to me by my friend Fanny, Cross Stitch Couture. And yeah, I made this little box bottom bag, just figured out the measurements myself so this would fit. And on the inside, there's this yellow. I don't know yet what I will put in here, but I'm sure I will find something, and I could also use it as a project bag for a small thing. So yeah, I love this. It's not it's a little bit flimsy when nothing is in there, but if you put something in, it's super stable and nice, and also like the orange zipper with it. So yeah, and it matches my shirt because that's my favorite color. Now they're all back there again. So, and that is not even all. I have three more fully finished, and I have quite a few waiting to be fully finished. They are partly fully finished. I just had to purchase some additional batting to frame things. So yeah, those are waiting back there. The next fully finished piece is a very small and cute one. And here he is. This is Blue Jay by Pigeon Coop Designs. This was in the January issue of the World of Cross Stitch magazine. And I stitched him on 22 count hardanger fabric that I dyed myself. And I think it's the perfect wintry sky blue. And I used all the called for DMC 1/1 on the hardanger. When this was finished, I saw that I had this hoop. This is one of those that look like wood, but they're gummy, rubbery, so you can just push the piece in. And yeah, I've just glued the back, put in a board, and he's done. And this will probably be a gift for my parents because it's the exact colors of the living room. He's so sweet. And this was a very quick fully finish. Yeah, it's a shame that it was lingering since January. And last but not least, I have two pillow finishes to show you. The first one is again a winter piece. It's just, yeah, what I had prepared. This is again one that has been lingering way too long. This is a winter Quaker, and it was in the Gift of Stitching magazine, the old magazine thingy. I stitched this sometime. I started it in 2023, if you can believe it, and finished it on February 23 of 2024. So again, this had to get finally done. I stitched it on 40 count fabric from Nicolas Flamel Designs. The blue is a dinky dice, and this is just a DMC. Yeah, and in the back, I have a cute star, light blue star fabric. And I filled this with the polyfill and with some what wood chips, I would say. I was looking for lizard litter walnut shells. Yeah, I cannot get that here. So I got those wood chunk shave thingies. They work. They are a little bit too big, I would say. So can you? I don't know if you can hear that. Yeah, so it gives a nice weight, but it's also not too squishy down here. I also purchased some grape seeds, so maybe that will be better. I like it. This will go into hiding until winter comes along. I thought about adding a trim, but I don't think it needs it. I think it's perfect the way it is. And the last one is one that finally one that can stay out right now. It's this one. Oh, it's so cute. This is Honey Love by Cherry Hill Stitchery. I finished this on June 5th, 2024, while on vacation. And this is stitched on 36 count linen by Zweigart. It's just a very light yellow. And I did the call for DMC 2/2. Yeah, and I finished this as a pillow. This also has a little bit of that wood chips. And look at the fabric in the back. Isn't it perfect? And then I looked through my ribbons and found that it's like a cotton, it's like a cotton crochet lace thing. And yeah, super happy with this. It's lovely. This has been sitting out in my living room for the last week or so. All right. Even though most of them are not really in season right now, I will leave them out because I'm so happy I finally fully finished something. To keep my drawer of finishes stocked, I also had a few finishes in the last few weeks. No, just kidding. I hope to get that really down and not have that many pieces that are lingering. But yeah, so I had three finishes in the last 3 weeks, I think. The first one was almost done the last time. I had just had to add a few tiny bits. And it is Herb Sampler by Jenny van de Wiele. And this is what it looks like finished. So this was in a World of Cross Stitch magazine, and the original had some words around the edges and bees in the corners, but I added two bees here and here. This is stitched on 40 count natural by Zweigart, 1/2 with the cold for DMC. And this will be a gift from my mother-in-law for her 70th birthday, which is actually today, but we will be celebrating on the weekend. And yeah, so I started this April 1st and finished it April 26th. And I will be framing this, and I have the frame ready. Oops, sorry for the glare. This is just a wood or a mock wood frame in a standard size that we can get here, and it will fit perfectly. You can see the marks where I tried. And I just need to wait for the batting to come to give it a little bit of cushion to frame it. So I hope that will come before Friday, but I'm quite sure it will. And then this will be a fully finished. I will hopefully remember to take a picture so I can show you next time, because it will be gifted by the time I will be filming next. But if not, it goes to my mother-in-law, so I can probably take a picture another time too if I forget. But I will try to remember. So that's finish number one. Finish number two is one that I'm doing monthly. It's my monthly cat series, and this time was Pretty Kitty May. And this is what it looks like. And I mean, I have a board. Can you see? I just bought some A4 sized foam boards on Amazon. So yeah, using this. This is the May Pretty Kitty. I again omitted the text and moved the beehive a little closer. I did this on the offcut from the Austrian Heart fabric, that one, and Vintage Dune by Zweigart, or Vintage Marmor is what it's called. 2/2. This is DMC 310, and then for the other things, I always pick some overdyes from Stash. He's so cute. Aww. Yeah. I started and finished this May 3rd. I was stitching on this while I was at the spring mingle, and it was easy and quick to stitch. Yeah, and the third finish that I have is Seasonal Basket Spring by Crochet Go Go. This is the round robin that I'm doing with my stitchy friends Alex, Static Stitches, Fanny, Cross Stitch Couture, and Marion. And this time I had Fanny's fabric. This is, I think, Cafe au Lait 32 count even weave by Fiber on a Whim. And that is one gorgeous fabric. So this is my spring piece that I did on Fanny's fabric. All the called for DMC with one over dyed, which is in these leaves here and some other. The bunnies are super cute. I started this May 5th and finished it May 15th. So this can now go on to Marion, who will be stitching on this next, but she's right now stitching on Alex's fabric, the spring one. So I'm not in a rush to get this to her. And then there's only summer left, and then we will have stitched on all seasons and get back our pieces. And with that, we are already at new starts. Also, if the light is changing, I think there's a thunderstorm brewing outside my window right now. We will see what what's going on, but yeah, I think it's light enough for now. I had two new starts in the last weeks besides the one that already finished again, the May Pretty Kitty and the round robin. Yeah, that's it. I also started a piece that I have been eyeing since it came out at the Nashville Needlework Market. It is called Cat Helper by Tiny Modernist, and I saw this, and this is my cat. This is Mario. I need to stitch that, but I didn't want to get the paper, and I knew that she would eventually release it as a PDF. So I got the PDF and started it on May 10th, and I made a Selkie conversion because I really liked how it looked on that called for fabric, that Vintage Stormy Night by Zweigart. But I only had a 36 count fabric in my stash, and I really like Selkie on 36 count. So this is what I did, and that's where I got to. He's already looking at us, the cat. So yeah, I basically tried to get the colors of Sulky as close to the original as possible. And yeah, I am changing the cat a little bit. So the original has only, I think, white booties and the rest is black. And I'm changing the black and white pattern to match my cat as much as I can do it. Yeah, this was just an evening of stitching, very fun to do. And yeah, super cute pattern. Oh, and I'm doing this sulky 1/2 on the 36 count. And the second new start I had was on May 16th. I had toyed with the idea of starting this since February basically, but never got around to it, or never really wanted to. So in January, I started the Summer Schoolhouse series by Brenda Gervais with the needle and thread, and I did the first one as a blessing sampler in January. And I stitched so much and every day on that, and that I got a little burned out by it and had to put it aside. But now it came back out, and I'm continuing with the series and started number 2. So I'm stitching this on a 28 count even weave that I dyed myself. This is quite true. And this is my very exciting start. This is stitched 1/1 on the even weave, and I'm using the Vicky Clayton silk conversion. Yeah. And so they're going to be tiny and very cute. And on here, I also have, this is the first one. The second one is smaller. And I have way more than enough for all 4 parts. I have to say, I don't really mind the 1/1 stitching. I can see it easily. It's not too flimsy. The only thing I still struggle with is starting my threads, because I usually do a loop start if I have 2 strands, or I do a pin stitch if I have 1 strand. But with 1/1, I cannot pin it in the middle because it's so tiny, it won't work for me. So if you have any suggestions, ideas how to start your thread on 28 count or 25 count 1/1, please let me know. I feel like I'm flying through this today, but I also have no sense of time while I'm filming, so who knows? But we are already at WIPs. I have stitched on a good amount of projects, but the first one is one that you know if you have been here before, because I show it every time and I say that every time. And it is Fruits of Plenty by Modern Folk Embroidery. That is my focus piece this year, and then I want to get done until October. And here it is. I didn't show you out of the Q-snap last time, so this time we do. So I'm done here. That's the whole thing for now. I need to fold it because I have no way of showing you otherwise. Oh my, this is big. This is going to be a challenge to frame. So I'm doing this more or less page by page because I would be overwhelmed any other way. And I am on the bottom row of pages now. So yeah, and I have been working in here. I'm stitching this on 32 count Lucan fabric with 2 anchor threads, 844 and 1044, 2/2. And yeah, this is what I've been up to. Hanging thread, because this was where the Q-snap ended. And so far, I don't have stats right now, but I am super close to 75% on this. And I did a lot on this in the last weeks because I figured I'm going to be away on vacation in June. I'm not bringing this because it's way too big. And I want to work ahead a little bit. So I did at least 800 stitches each week instead of 750, and sometimes even 850 or something. And yeah, this is where we are. There's going to be the last motif done here, and then it will end somewhere here. Yeah. Nothing much more to say about this. I'm super on track, and it's going to be weird not to work on this for 2 to 3 weeks in June because I'm so used to it. But maybe it will also be good. I hope I will get back into it afterwards. Let's hope so. The next goals I had for May are also already done and complete, and these are my WIP Go goals. I have a WIP Go BAP board where all my babs are on, and my goal is to stitch 1000 stitches on each one of them when it gets cold. And the numbers for May were 5 and 19, I think, which translated for me to Let Love Rain by Teresa Kogut and Parchment Tapestry by Rosewood Manor. The first one I tackled was Let Love Rain. I am stitching Let Love Rain on a 46 count fabric with all of the called for DMC and 2 over diets. This is the little messy floss ring. I could cut these down because on 46 count I will. So, and here we are. Oop. Do I need my board? All right, it's on the board now. I'm stitching this on 46 count beige gray by XJU Designs, 1/2. And when I picked this up, I only had a little bit in the corner and something started. And now I have put in 1046 stitches and I'm up to 4.24%. This is going to be a long one. Yeah, I don't mind the 46 count. It's for me not very much different to 40 count as long as I'm using DMC or overdyed cotton. And yeah, I love how this looks. This is very true to color. It's gorgeous. A little bit fiddly with the things and stuff, but fun to stitch on, and I love the needle minder. Yeah. I think that's all that I have to say about this. This will come out one more time this year, and it will get at least 1,000 stitches more. And maybe also something on its birthday, which is September 27th. Last year in September, I had so many new starts planned and kitted that I had to put on some tape with the dates because I got confused. Oh well. The next Bibgo piece was Parchment Tapestry by Rosewood Manor, and I already have that goal done as well. So far this year, Bibgo is going very well for me. And this is where I got up to. I'm stitching this on 40 count Creme Brulee by Fiber on a Whim with all of the called for Fancy Floss by Week Starworks except one. Yeah, there's one in there that I wasn't able to get a thing and I switched out. But I'm not totally sure right now. It's very close if I did. So yeah, I worked a lot in the borders and got that whole motif done. I think that's basically what I did. I put in 1030 stitches on this and it's up to 16.04%. That's with the alphabet on the bottom. And I have not decided yet if I will add it. I will decide at the end. I love this. I will come a little closer. I don't know if you can see that, but the colors are just, they're so gorgeous. The overdyed, the variegation, it's, I love this so much. And on that fabric, there is one light ecru color that you cannot see very well, but I don't care that much. And the needle minder is from a museum on Gran Canaria. And it somehow fits perfectly, the style. Yeah. So that's that one. Super glad that it got some love. Let's continue with my temperature stitching pieces because they're right next to me. So with temperature stitching, the daily temperature defines which project I'm working on. There are 5 projects in the mix, and yeah, I work on them for 100 stitches at least each time they get called. I mostly combine it on Saturdays and stitch on them, but yeah, so far I have really kept up and it has been very successful for me and I really like it. The first one is one of the newer editions, or maybe the newest edition. It is called Celestial Sampler by Cooler Design. And I'm stitching this all of the cold for DMCs, which is, well, yeah, a lot. And I'm doing it on a freaky fabric. This is Beach Party by Barbara Creations, and I think I've talked about this last time. I meant about the smell and stuff. I made some very good progress on this, and this is perfect for me to stitch on like in small increments. And this is where I got up to. So basically that whole side here has been done since it got into temperature stitching. And this is, what did I do on this? I did 429 stitches in April and 547 in May on this, all on that side. And now it's at 25.32% and 9,400 stitches left, plus a ton of backstitch. Yeah, and I have the perfect needle minder. I like stitching on this. This comes out a lot. This is for the digits 0 and 1, and somehow we had a lot of 20°C days here. So I have been stitching on that every week basically, and I like doing so. It's fun, but I could not like focus in on that hardcore because it's a lot of color change as well. The next one is Henna Mandala by Ink Circles in a gorgeous project bag. And this one didn't get called a lot in May, but in April I got quite a bit done. I have no before and after pictures. I'm sorry, I always forget. But this is where I am up to now. This is my oldest whip. It is stitched 2/2 on 32 count. Swigert Platinum probably. And with DMC 4130. It's a variegated one. And I did on this in April 677 stitches and in May 215. And I have now 3,756 stitches left, and I'm up to just under 40%. This is also one I never stitched on that without temperature stitching, and it is confusing for me, and I never, or not confusing, but I never can decide where I want to go with the stitch. And yeah, I overthink it way too much for what it is, but it gets progress now, and one day it will be done, and that is great. Next up, I have a piece that is in this project bag. This is A Little Bit of Spring by Blackbird Designs. And this is the one I'm doing the complete color conversion on to blues, purples, and greens. And here we are. This is on a 46 count linen that I dyed myself, a light sky blue. Yeah, I got a lot done on this. So, as I said, I'm doing this completely with overdyes from Stash. And on this, I did 327 stitches in April and 435 in May. I always love when this gets called. I don't know why, it's so fun to stitch on. I love the colors. I love how it comes together. The 46 is super easy to stitch on. Awesome piece. I am at 24.57% and have 7,118 stitches left. So yeah, it is quite a bit, but it's not that huge. All right, next up, temperature stitching is my Shadelane in my oldest project bag. And my Shadelane is Little Tuscany Mandala. I started this on my birthday in 2023. And I'm now creeping up to finishing this, slowly but surely. And this is where I'm up to. I'm stitching this on 32 count even weave by Zweigart in the color terracotta, using all the called for whatever. There are no beads in there yet. And since last time, I've finished up all the sky, which was a doozy, and started in on these specialty stitches. I think they're called combined rise stitches. I love to do them, and they look so cute. I don't even know. Can you see that? And it's not too far now. I think the end is like here somewhere, and then all the beads. And there's still some backstitch I need to add in here, but I wanted to get all the other pieces in first. So let's go on that side again. In April, I did 775 stitches on that. Because when I'm doing the specialty stitches, I mark each square like it was a cross, just count it, but it's one specialty. It's confusing, whatever. And in May, I did 590. I don't know how much is left because I don't have a stitch count for this because of all the specialty stitches and the beads, but it's getting there. Am I able to get this done until my birthday? Ooh, that would be great, but I don't know. We will see. And last but not least is one that I don't like to work on that much. I say this every time too. Yeah, but it is very close to getting done, so I will persevere. This is Busy Hands, Happy Heart by Hala from Liz Matthews. It's not her fault, the pattern's fault that I don't like to stitch on it, and it's the fabric and the floss in a way. Yeah, it's in the hoop because it's hard to get that hoop on that thick fabric and stuff. So, but you can see, and because it's so this is 20 count even weave that I dyed myself, and I'm doing 4/2, so it's basically 10 count, and it doesn't, the hoop marks come out easily on that fabric, so I leave it in. And I'm doing it with DMC 898, and it's slow going, but it is going. So in April I did 625, and in May I did 417 stitches. And drum the roll, please, I have only 852 stitches left, which leaves me at about 80%. So I have a little bit of the flower here and then all the background bitted dots. And so this needs only 9 days of getting cold to get done, or less if I buckle down and get it finished earlier. And I cannot wait to have this done as a huge pillow on the couch. And when this is done, which is probably the next one that's done with temperature stitching, pretty sure, I can add in a new one to stitch on. Because it was right next to the temperature stitching, let's take a little stitchy break and talk about knitting, just for a short while. I finally started the second sock of my library socks, and yeah, this is where I got up to. I was on a 2-day hiking trip at the beginning of May. I was hiking alone, so I wanted to bring some craft for the evening to do and for the bus ride there and stuff. But cross stitch was too finicky, and with the light and with the pattern, and didn't want to deal with all of that, so I brought knitting. And yeah, this is what it looks like. That's the wool. It is from a local wool dyer here. I made a few mistakes already in the pattern, but I don't care, you cannot tell. Super happy that I finally got the second sock started. I hate starting socks on the 9-inch, 10-inch circulars. I also don't like it on the magic loop. Just not a fan of starting socks. Once you have a few rows done, I'm good to go, but yeah. So that is all the knitting I did. Back to cross stitch whips. Are you still with me? I have 4 more, and then we're done with it at least. Yeah. If I take too much time between videos, I have too much to show, but also I don't really have time or the energy to film more often. Let's talk about whips more. In this project bag lives my Spring Quaker by Lila Studio. And I worked on this just after my last video, so I didn't even remember that I did that, but apparently I did. Notion says so. Yeah, and I remember setting a goal for myself. So I wanted to get Spring Quaker to 50%, and I managed to do that. And this is where we are up to. This could use an iron, but oh well. I'm doing this 36 count linen that I dyed myself. And I did in the middle basket all the calls for DMC, and now on the border I'm changing up colors, and I'm using sulky for the Quakers because I couldn't do 2/2 anymore. So yeah, I don't even know. I think I added in something up here and then went down there. I know that I did the bunny and started in on the border here. Yeah. I did 1,073 stitches on this in April to get it to just over 50%. If I continue in that rate, it will be done in 2 years. I think that I'm fine with that. I started this last year for my friend Alex's birthday, Alex Stitches. I think that's it. I feel so out of practice with doing this, but oh well. Oh well. Next one. Next one is Albert and Effie by Long Dog Samplers. This already had its 2 times out for my WIP Go, but it had its WIP birthday on May 2nd or 3rd, I think, so I stitched on it a little bit. And this is where I got up to, so I basically brought this over and down a little bit. That is the edge. There's one line border all around the outside, but I have not decided yet if I am doing that. This is 36 count Deep Impact Linen by XJU Designs. Let's show you the whole thing. And I'm using sulky thread 1/2. That is so gorgeous. I think this is going to be stunning when it's done, but long way to go. I did 489 stitches on it on its birthday and got it up to 17.38%. And this is one I'm thinking about working on more in June for June Dog, which is a sale for long dog samplers in June. But also I'm going on a vacation, as I said, and this could be one that would be good to bring because it's sulky, it's easy to stitch, it's easy to see, it's only one color. Yeah, maybe. Still thinking about it, but it's a contender for coming with me on vacation. I could bring quite a few projects. I will bring a big suitcase, but I don't want to bring too much. So we will see. And I won't have that much time for stitching, except in the plane. Yeah. So for now, it got worked on a bit. The next one is also one that I pulled out on its WIP birthday sometime last Monday, I think. And it lives in this project bag, a quite flimsy one, but well. This is Athena by Carolyn Manning that I started last year and have not touched since then. I mean, last week, but not in the year between. Why do you listen to me? I'm not. Why do you watch me? I'm just very ridiculous today. But oh well. I'm using all the codes for DMC and I'm doing it tiny and it's so cute. this is where I'm up to. You probably won't see a difference to what it was like before, but I did 259 tiny, tiny stitches on this. And this is 1/1 on 27 count vintage country mocha. I'm at 6.27%. This will take ages because it's full coverage. I think there are 23,000 stitches left. Yeah. But I don't mind. I don't care. It's fine. And I have one more that I have been working on the last 2 days actually. Quite a different theme. Winter and Christmas. In here is Christmas Garden by Blackbird Designs. This is a loose-ish goal of mine that I will want to try to finish this by this Christmas. And for that, I want to do at least 1,000 stitches on it every month. I usually stitch on that around the 24th, 25th of each month, but this week I won't have time to stitch a lot on the weekend because it's my mother-in-law's birthday party on Saturday. We have something planned on Friday, and there are other projects that have their birthdays. So I got it out early. I mean, why not? And yeah, I have it in a Q-snap because I'm actively working on it. And this, it's a little hard to show. Let's do it like that. So this is on 40 count light mocha by XJU Designs with my own silk conversion to Mrs. Seda Silks and Silks for You. I need to remove that as well because I got over to the border. That's where the corner is. And I am at almost 40%, if you can believe it. And yeah, I did that star motif now, or I did that star motif this week, and I love the combination of the gold and the gray. I like how that turned out. And yeah, I did 911 stitches so far in May, and I will try to get up to about 1,200 or something on this. And I love working on this. I'm so glad to get that out every month to make progress, but not in the intense way I'm doing for Fruits of Plenty. So I definitely, oh no, my hair looks crazy because of the fabric. So I definitely want to do something like this next year too, where I pick a project that is not huge but large maybe, and chip away on it for 1,000 stitches each month, which is so doable for me and gets super nice progress, which is fun and encouraging. And yeah, this is what my stitching space looks at the moment for this. Doing it 1/2 on the 40 count with the silks. I'm just choosing whatever silk makes sense for me for whatever motif. So obviously the greenery is green. Oh my. And that is it. Those are all my projects I worked on in the last 3 weeks. I feel like I need to go get something to drink now because I talked a lot, and I will do that. And after that, what do I have left? I have no haul, and but I have some plans to talk to you about, and I want to mention some Flosstubes because I haven't done that in a while. So I'll be back in a second for you. Alrighty. So I can talk again. Let's see about plans. First, I have 2 projects kitted that I kitted up today that I possibly want to start soon-ish. No definite dates yet. If you have one of those and want to start them, let me know. The first one is one that I have been seeing a lot on Instagram and Flosstube, and it is Aviary by Jet X Stitch. And at first I just flipped over it, and then I looked again and I love it. I love the colors. I love the weird for me colors. And then I realized I have the perfect fabric in stash. So let's go for it. I plan to do it on this little bit yucky yellow. It's a little, it has a little bit more hint of greenish in real life than it comes across. It comes across on camera and on photo more golden than it is. And it's like the perfect yucky yellow. I cannot, it was in a fabric pack from Nicholas Flamel Design. Probably wouldn't have bought that fabric on its own, but now that I have it, I'm glad because I want to stitch that piece on it. So the thing you see on here, I was debating using DMC 2/2, it's 32 count linen, or sulky. You probably cannot tell anything, but I asked my friends and then decided to go for the sulky. And I was able to do a very good color conversion, very true to color, to the original colors. And if you want to stitch that piece too, and if you want to do it with sulky, please write me an email or on Instagram and I will send it to you. And those are the colors. Can I wait? Ugh. I think this is going to be awesome, and who knows when I will start that. Yeah, maybe tomorrow. We will see. All right, let's get this back into here. And the next possible new start is Summer from Peacock Needlework Designs. I found this while browsing, I think last time on Casa Janina, and got the pattern and really want to start it because I love how it looks. I pulled all the called for colors in CXC threads and some fabrics. I'm not quite sure yet what fabric I want to use. Let me show you. So I will either do it on 40 count or on 36 count. The only thing on 36 that I have is Platinum by Swigert, which is good but a little boring, and the original is stitched on a modeled fabric. And I could do it on a 40 count, which would be plumper but still very nice. And for that I have that hand dyed thing. What do you think? White has to show, but it will on this, so yeah, don't know yet. Or I could dye something else. We will see. No fancy project bags for those yet. Apart from the new starts, I want to work on some of the pieces that have their WIP birthday this week, because I started them last year for Mania. So we will see how the other ones will fit in. The first one is Cat Garden by Una Buena Pieza. I started this 1 year ago today. I have it in a very fitting, very cute project bag. I really like that piece. I love how it looks. I think it's going to be so cute, but this will take me so long because it is very tedious to stitch on. This could be good for temperature stitching, but it would be in there forever. So I don't know. I'm using all the called for DMC, which are a lot, and stitching it 2/2 on what? I'm stitching it 2/2 on light taupe, even weave by Swigert, and I just have a little bit done. This is where I'm starting. I started in the middle. Yeah. So I will stitch on that a little bit today, and then we will see. The next one that will have its WIP birthday is one that I really love, but I haven't stitched on since I started it, which is a shame, and I don't know why I didn't. I just had other priorities, I guess. This is Summer Plums by the Artsy Housewife. It was a Patreon chart last year. I think in May. So I don't know if this is available yet. I'm stitching with the DMC conversion, but I will use an overdyed for the house, but I don't know yet which one, but yeah. I'm stitching this on Picture This Plus Mirage 36 count, 1/2, and I added some fabric to the corners because I don't have a lot of margin. And this is where I am now, and I cannot wait to get back to this. Yeah. So this will come out later this week. And then we have the next birthday piece in this thing. This is, and I always say this wrong, a sampler garden by Modern Folk Embroidery. And we have the hashtag garden sampler for this. Don't ask me why. I'm doing this with Sulky on a 32 count even weave. This vintage wood, which I don't like that much, but I'm using the backside, which I love. So this is where I'm up to. Haven't touched this since September probably. Yeah, I have a needle minder in here that I want to use with this because it fits so perfectly. It's from Charlie Feathers and it's so gorgeous. So maybe this will make me stitch on that more. Look at it. Yeah. I love it. It's very unusual colors for me, but yeah, that's that one. And one more. Yeah, last one, which I will stitch on next week. I started this last year with my friend Sally, Flossy Sews and Grows. And this is With the Hands by Teresa Kogut. Again, haven't touched this since I'm using all the cold for DMC and overdyed, but switched one overdyed, I think. I will talk about it more when I've actually stitched on it, but just to show you, this is my sad start. This is on a 40 count light mocha by Swigert. Yeah, those are my plans for just small progress on WIP birthdays. I also will continue with Fruits of Plenty for the next 2 or 3 weeks until I leave for vacation. Christmas garden, as I said, will get a little bit temperature stitching. Let's talk about my vacation some more. In June, I will be joining a group hiking excursion vacation trip to Uzbekistan. I'm so excited. I saw the photos of the trip and signed up in January, and now it comes very close, so I will be preparing for that. Yeah, I can bring a big suitcase and we will have some day hiking trips, so that's no issue. I will have quite a bit of airplane stitching. So I need to figure out what to bring. I also want to bring some knitting for the airplane and also for the hotels and things that don't have that good light. So we will see. Any suggestions what WIP to bring, what project to bring? Leave them down below. Okie dokie. Almost done here. Last but not least, as I said, I want to mention a few Flosstubers that I have been enjoying in the last months. It's not all of them. There are more that I watched that I enjoyed, but those are ones that stood out. So I want to mention them. And yeah, all of them will be linked down below if YouTube cooperates, because sometimes YouTube Studio, when I'm uploading and doing the text info box, it won't let me link YouTubers. Don't know what's up there, but yeah, if I can, they will be linked. So first, there's Adelaide Stitches. I mentioned her already in December. She has been doing a lot of videos in the last month showing all her WIPs. And she stitches quite different things from me sometimes, but I enjoy watching her. Then A newer find for me is Carolyn from Seesook Stitch. I love the peaceful music she has at the beginning, at the end, then the regular videos she does, unlike me. And she stitches quite a bit, and yeah, super enjoy her and the things she stitches. Then there's Jen's Fiber Web, my friend Jen, always an inspiration beyond words. Right now, she does monogamish May and doing dragon full coverage. Wow, she gets a lot done. Amazing. Then Two Martini Stitcher. She's so hilarious and fun. She had her 50th birthday this year and does 100 new starts. It's so fun to watch. I love it. Then Helen D, I watch her regularly. She's very inspiring. She has great tutorials. And then Crafting on the Plains, Jacinta, also a friend of mine. And yeah, I don't know what to say. She has had an amazing finish in the last few videos, so go check her out. And last but certainly not least, my friend Sally, Flossy Sews and Grows, who kind of inspired that whole finishing palooza here, and who I love to watch and see what she gets up to. And I hope that I meet her in October. Please, yeah, Sally, I miss you. Yeah, and I think that's it. At the end, I usually do live update a little bit. Is there a live update? Well, vacation's coming up, so that's a huge one. Other than that, I don't think so. Maria's doing well. He's super cute. I've been enjoying hiking very much here, day trips or one overnight trip. And I'm looking forward for the summer, even though it will probably get super hot, but I will take anything above winter and dark and cold. Yeah, also with coming summer, I have been learning to drive a scooter, or yeah, learning is something. So I can, with the license that I have, drive a small scooter, not the e-scooters, but motorbike scooter thingies. And I have been driving with that to work, but it's a very slow one and an old one. So this week on Friday, I will have some lessons, scooter lessons, and with that, I get like, and after those, I can get a license to drive stronger ones, which will be much nicer to drive to work with. So that's been going on. And I think that's it. I hope to be back before my I hope to be back before my vacation, because otherwise it would be very long. So I am leaving on Friday the 6th. And I know that the week before will be super busy with work and preparing and packing and stuff. So I hope to film on June 1st that weekend. I hope I can manage that. Also, I hope to have my VIP goals, at least one of them, done before I leave for my trip. So we'll probably start with that once the new numbers are called. Yeah, is that cheating if you start a month before? I don't think so, because the whole goal of the thing is getting progress. But yeah, we will see. We will see. With that, I think that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching and for joining me in my excitement. And I hope to see you soon. Bye.